Jim Norton is not a doctor. He's not an expert. He's not even a good person. The views, opinions, advice, and humor of Jim Norton does not reflect those of any doctor, of SiriusXM, of Opie Radio, or anyone else. They are solely those of Jim Norton, Lyle Chipperson, Edgar Mellencamp, Paul Hargis, and whoever else lives in that chinless head of his. If any of this advice goes wrong, you are the asshole who called a comedian instead of a doctor.
An icon in comedy, a fighter for freedoms, an accomplished entertainer, and a pervert. You've got problems, he's got problems. You've got questions, he's got answers, some of which are good. Call now, 866-WOW-1-WOW. That's 866-969-1969. This is the Jim Norton Show.
Good afternoon. That's me singing along the song. Good afternoon, I'm live while we're on vacation. I just felt like I texted Don Wicklund this afternoon, as I'll frequently do, with genital photos. And I was like, hey, Don, am I live today? And he wrote, you bet. I was like, fuck. I was hoping he'd go, no, you're on vacation. Kick your feet up, sweet boy. But he said, you bet. So they drive a fucking slave ship over there at Sirius. Anyway, enjoying my my time off. You know, I have a whole nother week off, and I'm going to Houston and Dallas starting tomorrow. We have Peter in Connecticut. What's up there, Pete?
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Cool, man. How are you?
I really missed the show. Give you a lot of credit for coming on live on your vacation.
Thank you, sir. Well, I'm right now sitting in my underpants. I'm shirtless in my house here in the city. So, but I enjoy doing this. But thank you.
Can you rub your balls for me a little?
I'm doing it the whole time you talk, sir. You're preaching to the choir.
Anyway, listen, here's the call. Here's the problem, all right? I still get pissed off when I see black guys with white girls.
Why?
Because I'm jealous. And I'm like, you know, what's the point? You know, when you look in, you go to Target and you see a little niglet in the cradle in the carriage, and you go, God, that white chick, and then the little baby. It's not a total racist thing. It's just my father was a racist.
Well, let me ask you a question. When you did, now I understand being annoyed at that, but I did a bit on this many, many years ago, like 13 on my second CD. I did a bit about like we get jealous.
What was the name of that CD, Jim?
Trinkets I Own, made from gorilla hands. We get mad when we see if you see a really old guy with a hot young blonde, you don't get mad because that's encouraging. But when you see a black guy with a white girl who's pretty, it bothers you. And the reason being was, you kind of said it, it's jealousy. It's like, I know that like that woman, I can never be that guy that she likes. If she likes like well-built black guys, no matter what I do, I can never be that guy. But as far as it being a racial principle thing, it's like, what do you think? Every white girl's a fucking prize? Like, who cares? Like, there's plenty of black girls I would date.
No, I understand, but it's just I just feel like things have passed me by. And
okay. How old are you?
You know, I'm just being honest with you.
Yeah, no. How old are you?
I'm 53.
So you feel like the times have passed you by and things. Do I ever get like bothered by that? In all honesty, no. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't have
But it goes back to, listen to this. 1964, I was a little kid in New Haven by Yale, sitting on my parents' front porch on Winchester Avenue. And I'm 3 years old, and this black girl comes and slaps me in the face and calls me a white cracker. All right? And it still disturbs me to this day.
So if you have that kind of annoyance from that one moment, and I hate to play the house liberal here, but imagine how annoyed black people are after all the shit they've had to put up with.
1967, the Blacks Molotov cocktailed Winchester firearms across the street from my house.
All
okay?
Right. Sir, look, I'm not saying that you haven't had uncomfortable or annoying or even unpleasant interactions with black people, but that doesn't, you got to let that shit go.
Did I ever tell you, this is my favorite joke, though, right? And I'll let
I don't,
you go.
sir, in all honesty, I have people.
My father was a huge racist.
I understand that, and his son's a bit of an ass.
The president would kill him. And when Obama got elected, he died. So I got my inheritance early, so I thank President Obama.
Yeah, and Obama, come on. I mean, Obama's a Harvard nerd. People think.
Did she get her jaw done? Did Michelle get her jaw done?
Peter, you're starting to babble. If you're just going for punchlines, I don't mind that, but at least let me finish one thought, and then you could. I don't know if she got her jaw done, to be very honest with you. What do you think she had done to her jaw?
I think she had her mandolin shaved because it doesn't look as gorilla-like.
Is that what you wanted to say?
No, but I have a nice weekend.
All right, Peter. Jesus. Let's see here. Tyler in New Jersey. Like, how can you, like, I get if you don't like Obama's policy, you think he stinks. I don't like his tax policies. They do kind of stink. But Michelle Obama's a nice lady. You know what I mean? She wants kids to stop being fat fucks. I mean, how can you not like Michelle Obama? Tyler in New Jersey. What's up, man? What are you struggling with your sexuality for?
No, I just like, I don't know. I've been in relationships with girls and stuff, but it's like, I'm really attracted to women. Like, I see girls walking down the road all the time, and I'm like, damn, she's got a nice ass, whatever, and stuff like that. But then it's like, I'm kind of leaning towards guys as well, and like, I don't know, I kind of have a hard time in bed with girls sometimes, even though I'm really attracted to them. Like, I was in a relationship with a girl for like a year and a half, and we had a couple problems in bed, but besides that, I enjoyed myself. And I'm wondering, like, if it's because I'm gay or I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, are you bisexual? Maybe it's that. Maybe it's not gay or straight. Maybe you're in the middle.
I'm not sure. Like, I mean, I've done stuff with guys, but then I've also done stuff with girls. And I mean, I don't see myself in a relationship with a guy. I don't think I could ever do that. Like, anytime I think about kissing a guy, it just kind of like grosses me out.
Yeah, you love women. You love women. You're attracted to women, but sometimes you like sucking dick. It is what it is.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, so maybe you're bi. I mean, you don't have to make a decision on male or female. Or, fucking find a nice, delightful trans girl. Why not find a lovely trans girl and take her out for malted, perhaps?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I've been listening to your show for a while, and, like, you were talking about, like, trannies and stuff, and I never really looked at them. And then I watched some tranny porn, and I was like, all right, you know what? I can see where he gets off with this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean you're. It's like it doesn't mean that you're gay because you like that stuff. And I'm not saying that just because I like trans girl. I mean, I'm not just trying to make myself feel better. I almost admire the conviction of somebody coming out and just going, "I'm gay." Like, all right, well, you know who you are. Good for you. Me, yeah. I still look in the mirror and just shake my head and go, "You fucking silly goose," and then I walk out. But you don't have to.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, but you don't have to make a decision. Like, you know how you feel about women. I love women.
Yeah,
I genuinely do. I mean, it's like I could never date anyone but a woman. I don't think, and not because of social constraints, just because that's who I want to be with and date.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. And it's like, just in my family, like, there's never been anybody to come out or anything like that. And it's not like I'm afraid to come out. It's just like, I've always pictured myself with a girl in a house with a couple kids. Like, that's exactly what I want in life. And that's what I've always pictured. But like, anytime I'm in bed with a girl, like, my fucking dick's just like, oh, well, fuck you, bud, even though I'm enjoying myself.
Well, it could be a couple of things. Sometimes in bed, we feel pressure. Like, maybe you feel a pressure with a girl to perform that you don't feel when you're, let's just say, being face fucked by a gentleman. Maybe there's no fear to perform there. Or maybe you're a complete submissive, and with a guy, or whatever you're doing with a guy, you feel like you're being submissive there or seduced, but with a girl, you feel like you're being dominant, and that's not your role. You know, it could just be the situations you're having in bed, too. I've had great experiences with girls in bed, and my dick has shriveled up like a mealworm. Nope, not me. I want to fucking punch it. But I think sometimes that whole sexual thing, when you lose the erection, a lot of that I think is performance stuff. Like, you get scared you're not going to be able to perform, you're not going to be able to please her. Or maybe you only hang out with, like, say you want to do something sexual, you want to suck a dick. Maybe you only do that when you're horny and you're in a sexual mood. But maybe you found yourself with women and you're in a sexual mood when you're not feeling horny. Like, because most of the time is with women, so you're like, I don't want to fuck right now, I just want to be with her, but you don't know how to say that, and then your dick just we're not in the mood to fuck, and your dick collapses.
I honestly think that's exactly what it is, because that's what I feel like in bed. Like, I just got out of a relationship where, like, she kind of just cheated on me and stuff, so, like, I've always been, like, self-conscious since then. And when I was in bed with this girl, I was just so feeling pressured. I was like, what if I fuck up? What if I'm not enough? And shit like that. And my dick just fucking just conked out on me.
Yeah, I understand that, but there's a signal from your brain to, like, you know how they say stress causes high blood pressure, it causes all these problems. There's a signal that goes from your head to your dick. Like your brain, it's a signal. You're being pumped up. I know it's a physical thing, but your brain can wreck it faster than any. I've lost my heart on Viagra and Cialis, and I've gotten an erection, in turbulence, and, 30,000. Your dick's a weird instrument. Just realize you're not going to pressure it into working. Just enjoy it. It works fine. And if your dick goes soft, so what? It'll work again tomorrow. No big deal, right?
Okay, thank you so much, Jim. You're the best, honestly.
Thanks, Howard. Just enjoy sex. It's not a big deal. You don't have to define it. Just enjoy it, and don't pull a Jared. Don't fuck anybody underage, okay?
I won't.
Right,
have a good day, Jim.
All right, pal. Take care. Let's see here. Skip in New Jersey. Well, hello, Skip. What's up?
Hey, Jimmy. I know that you've written a couple of books, and
of course I have. I'm world renowned. I'm kidding. What's up, Skip?
I've been asked by a number of people to write a book about what's going on in my life. I have no idea where to even start.
What's going on? Okay, well, here's what you do. For me, the way I started, the first book, which was called Happy Endings, I did like around 2002 or whatever, when Opie and Anthony were off the radio. I was in a manic depression, and this woman named Lydia Wills, who was a very good literary agent, she was friends with Pete Pappalardo, who was my personal appearance agent at the time, and she said, wow, I saw some stuff on Jim's website that he's written, like silly little things I had written and posted. He's a good writer. Would he ever want to do a book? So Pete talked to me, and I realized I'm not regimented enough to sit down and write a book. So I started doing little blog posts about what was happening in my life. I was getting a lot of massages at the time and escorts because, again, I was in a manic depression, seeing dominatrixes because we were off the radio and I was suicidal. So I started doing these little blog posts because, again, this is before Twitter and Facebook and stuff. So I would post them and people would read them, but I wouldn't really publicize them. But I needed that instant reaction. And I did them without the pressure of a book. But deep down, I always knew a book would hopefully be coming. So once I had done that for a while, then we went back on the radio. I left the blog alone because I was talking again. And then I decided Lydia said, I'd like you to do a book for real. And I started taking those blog posts and going, wow, this one might be good. That one might be good. And reworking them a little bit. You understand what I mean? So I kind of, without pressuring myself, I built a body of writings. So if you don't have a blog maybe you can do a blog that's anonymous. Or maybe you can, just to get the stories out there without the pressure of a whole book. Or maybe you have one of those talk programs, talk a whole bunch of thoughts into your phone, talk into your notebook program. And then all of a sudden you'll have a shitload of thoughts, email it to yourself, open it up in a Word document, and begin straightening it out and formulating a chapter. Don't pressure yourself to write a whole book. Just get little pieces, and then like a puzzle, you'll begin putting them together a little bit later. If that's, for me, that's what works, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I wasn't exactly sure which way to go. I mean, I'm not a big reader to begin with. I'm no literary scholar, but they tell me that based on my health, I shouldn't be alive.
Oh, wow. Well, then you should definitely write something, man.
Between that and the fact that I got dragged into what is basically a murder
oh, wow.
situation. So it's like everybody I've talked to keep on saying, you got to write something. And I just don't even know how to do it.
Yep. Well, talk it into, again, a Siri program or something like that where once you say it, it doesn't have to be perfectly worded. It doesn't have to be, and the night was misty, chapter 1.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
No, dude. That's way too much pressure. That's what an editor's for. They can help you formulate stuff. You get your ideas down first. The most important thing is to put it on paper first. And again, these talk programs are amazing. You did talk about, the murder, my relationship with the person, how I found out about it, how I feel about it, the circumstances surrounding. Talk about all this stuff. Don't worry about an order. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, you'll have fucking pages of stuff talked into this program. And then once it's in front of you on your computer, you can begin to organize it. But get it down first. That would be my advice. Okay, Skip?
Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Good luck. That sounds interesting. All right. Take care. Let's see here. Nick in New York. You got a fetish. What's up, buddy?
Yeah. First of all, the special is great. I want to say that, first of all. Another great job. I really enjoyed it.
Contextually inadequate on Netflix. Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it.
And then I also wanted to say, if you had any experience like this, I met a woman and she satisfied...
No, I do not have any experience with that, but tell me about it.
Yeah. A fetish that I always kind of was attracted to, like a woman smoking during sex. Now I'm in another relationship and now I have trouble getting excited without it.
Let me ask you something. Sorry to interrupt you, but that's a fascinating one to me because that is a very popular one with dominatrix. Because now I don't understand it. I'm guessing, did your mother smoke?
Yeah, and a lot of my aunts smoked. But I mean, even when I was as young as junior high school, I was attracted to girls smoking. It's just kind of like a badass kind of thing, I guess. You know, I don't know.
What do you want to be doing while they're smoking? Do you want the ashes flicked on you or flicked in your mouth?
No, I just like them blowing me or having sex with them while they're smoking. But
while there's like, hold on, she's holding the cigarette and she blows smoke out and then sucks your dick while she's holding the cigarette, or blowing it in your face during sex?
No, right? You know, blowing it out on your cock and all that. You know?
Oh, the smoke! Wow. I don't know what that is, to be real honest.
Well, that's not the question, though. The question I wanted to ask was like any fetish. Like, how did you get around having a fetish satisfied and then being able to just have conventional sex again?
Good question, man. It can be difficult. It depends on how ingrained in the fetish I am. Like, there's certain things that, like anything, if I do a fetish all the time, it loses its power. Like, if every time, like, I like to be smothered with a juicy hiney, which is not the most uncommon thing, let's be real frank. But I like a nice fat hiney on my face. Or I like a girl with a big meaty vagina. Let's just say a girl has a meaty vagina. That turns me on a lot. But after a while, okay, it's just her pussy. Like, I'm used to it, or I'm used to the big ass on the face. So fetish, if not used occasionally, can all of a sudden become the common thing, and then I need something else to up to. So sometimes you're better off not having your partner always satisfy your fetish, because then it still remains fun and sexy and you don't have to keep upping the ante. But how do I get around it? Smoking is one I've never dealt with, so I don't know. Does it turn you on at all if somebody talks about it while you're fucking them? Like, if a girl who doesn't smoke talked about it. I don't know how to do that one because it's a behavior. Whereas for me, it was being pissed on, or it was a girl cuckolding me and telling me how much better another guy was in bed. Like that, a girl could talk about and I could get into. Would it turn you on if a girl was talking about smoking? Or no?
Not really. No.
No, you need it to be done. And do you have to be fucky, or can you be jerking off? Like, could you go to a dominatrix and have her blow smoke in your face just while you jacked off?
I like the female contact with it, you know?
You do, sure. And your girl doesn't smoke, right?
The new one doesn't, no. But again, you know, just in terms of fetishes in general, I just kind of thought, you know, we may have some experience as far as mentally getting around the game, you know what I'm saying?
Find something else. It's the only thing I can suggest, dude. And again, a psychologist may tell me I'm completely stupid and there's a better way to do it. I just don't know. That's a really good question, because smoking is such a specific health issue. Like, again, if it's a girl with a strap on, or if it's a girl spitting on you or slapping you or letting you tie her up or whatever it is, there's ways to kind of incorporate that lightly. But smoking is such a specific thing. You either smoke or you don't. And a girl who doesn't smoke, you're not going to get her to start smoking. You don't want her. It's just, you don't want a girl to start smoking. Like, hey, could you get cancer so I can come all over your stomach? I mean, that's not a fair thing that's not a fair thing to ask. All right? So I'm sorry I can't be more help, man, but good luck with that one. That's really interesting. I wonder, hold on, one minute. Do you like feet too, or no?
No.
Okay. Do you think it goes back to one of your aunts or your mom? Like, for real? Like, is that like, because I'm always fascinated with stuff like maybe one of your aunts turned you on, and maybe she would like open her skirt and let you see her thighs a little while she blew smoke at you, and that you associated with being a naughty turn on?
I did have a hot aunt that wasn't a blood relation aunt, you know, that did smoke. I remember even being little and watching it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that might be where it comes from. So maybe there's something beyond the smoking. Like, maybe there's a way to tap into what that fetish really is beyond the smoking, whether it's the powerful older woman, the incestuous aspect of it, or just the inappropriateness of it. Because to me, the smoking thing seems like she's distracted. She's paying you no mind. If a woman is still smoking while she's fucking with you.
That's part of it, definitely. I like him on top and not looking at me.
Yeah, she's disinterested in you. Like, it's just a thing which either A, takes the pressure off you sexually because you know you're not important, so it's just something she's doing, or it makes you feel small and humiliated and not important, and maybe that's the turn on. Or maybe it makes you feel anonymous.
It's more that it's anonymous, and it's kind of like you're watching someone smoke from a distance, but you're fucking. You know?
Okay. Maybe there's a way to tap into that some other way, okay?
Yeah, you got it. All right,
Take care, buddy. What's up, Phil in PA? You and an old friend are fighting over a girl. Oh, Phil.
Hey, Jim. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Thank you so much. As Kevin Spacey said in Swimming with Sharks, over a chick? Come on. What's going on here, buddy?
Well, no, let me explain. Okay. I'm going to have to use real names here. You have to forgive me.
Don't use real names. Don't use real names.
Okay.
Use fake names. Fake names.
This guy Dan. Okay. This guy Dan and I have been friends since high school. We know each other rather well. Our friendship's gone on some 14 plus years, and we lived together for a little bit, and we don't anymore for different reasons, moving around, shit like that. About a year and a half ago, give or take, I met a young woman, Shannon. Now, about 4 years ago, give or take, I was with another woman, Rachel. This woman, Rachel, used me as like a boy toy, which is fine because it's occasional sex. We got what we wanted from each other. She wanted money. I wanted sex. We kind of had an agreement. But
did you sugar daddy her a little bit?
I sugar daddy her a little bit.
Okay.
Not too much. I didn't want to give her that much power over me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so now Dan met Rachel and they got along pretty well, which is fine. And because there wasn't a real relationship, we never were officially a couple. And I had a lot of strong feelings towards her. He knew that. He was aware of that. She was aware of that too. And he said, "Hey, do you mind if I go out drinking with her sometime? Because we live about a block. We live about a quarter mile away." He said, and I said, "Yeah, sure. Have some fun." Well, a couple drinks. If you do the math, I'm pretty sure you can figure out what he did that night with her.
Yeah. This is Rachel or the other girl?
Rachel.
Okay, the one who you were paying for sex.
Yeah, the one I was paying for sex. I confessed up to that one.
Yeah.
And so she ended up fucking him for free, which kind of pissed me off a little bit.
There you go. Of course, it's embarrassing. Sure.
Yeah, no, but at the same time, she's also fucked me for free and later got money. Well,
let me ask you a question because there's a lot of circumstances here. Are you and him fighting over Rachel?
No, but me and him got in a fight, blew it out, but then I realized Rachel wasn't worth fighting for. I'm like, yeah, so we ended up getting back together, talking it out like gentlemen. Fast forward to about a couple nights ago, because I work some 30 to 35 hours because I'm trying to save up money. So
I'm not trying to rush you along, Phil. We got to just get to the chase, and I'm not saying it's not an interesting story.
I know.
Just cut to it.
I know.
What's going on?
She tells me she's starting to develop feelings for him, and he's told me the same thing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I should just be like, you know what? Fuck you, Dan. Stay the fuck out of my life. I don't want you fucking my girlfriend because this woman I'm actually serious about.
Okay, hold on. She's your girlfriend.
Serious.
She's your girlfriend, and she's developing feelings for him?
Yeah, but she still has strong loyal feelings for me. She doesn't have sexual feelings. She thinks she might be starting to love him too. And like, I don't do menage a trois. I'm all in.
Well, you're in a shitty situation, dude.
Yeah, I know.
None of you seem to be, at least they don't seem to be particularly loyal to you. I would dump that girl in a second if she was into one of my friends. Like if she said to me, like if a girl says to you, "I'm starting to fall for your friend," that like by the time she tells you that, she's really into him. That would be my guess. And if he's like, "I'm starting to like her too," they have something going on that you're not aware of. Even if they're not fucking. I'm not saying they're fucking, but there's some kind of a communication, whether it's text or email or just eye contact across the room where they both know something you don't. And it may just be, "Hey, we're looking at each other and we know that there's feelings here." But if they've both independently told you that, what does that tell you?
Oh, the thing is, he said, "I'm not looking for a relationship," which puts another spin on it. It's like, wait, so you're not looking for a relationship, but you're looking at my girlfriend. My girlfriend's looking for a relationship. She's in one with me, but she's starting to feel feelings for you. I don't know if I should say fuck the both of you.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
I hope you both die. I hope the both of you cheat on each other and beat each other to death.
Yeah, I understand it really hurts. It stinks, dude. It stinks. But the thing you should realize is, personally, I would step away from both of them. If I had a friend that was hawking one of my girlfriends, like, I'm a piece of shit, I'm a dirtbag, I'm a dirty guy, but I don't fuck friends' girlfriends. That's a shit thing to a shit thing to do. So your friend is shitty and he should just step away. He seems to like to sniff around where you are. And if your girlfriend is responding to that at all, instead of coming to you and going, "Your friend's a scumbag," then she's kind of scummy too. I'll say this, at least they were honest with you, unless they've already fucked and they don't know how to tell you. But personally, you don't even have to do it hatefully, dude. Sometimes you can just walk away. Sometimes you can just realize, look, I've done a lot of shitty things in my life. Sometimes, hey, shitty things happen to me. It is what it is. Like, it doesn't have to be a resolution like where you win and they're punished and they suffer. It can just be, you know what? Fuck these two. And like little boats, they just sail out of your life. That's it. And then you go on to someone else.
All right, thanks, Jim. That was a lot of help. You helped put things in a lot better perspective for me. Thanks, man.
All right, Phil. Take care, buddy.
Hey, you doing any tours in Pittsburgh?
Not in Pittsburgh for a little while. I got Toronto and Dallas this weekend. I think I've booked almost every weekend until early January. I am out and working. So just check JimNorton.com, buddy, okay?
Okay, I'll keep checking, man. Can't wait to see you live. The last two specials fucking killed, dude. Keep up the good work, man.
Take care, Phil. Thank you. What's up, Curtis in Toronto? You're hating women since listening to Patrice. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, Jim? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Yeah, started listening to Patrice about a year or two ago, and he started making a lot of good sense. And ever since listening to a lot of his shows on Opie and Anthony, and I just see more and more of these young girls at clubs, and I just can't stand them. As soon as they open up their mouth, I just want to turn around and walk away. I can't stand going to the clubs and shit like that. So
don't misinterpret Patrice in the sense that, yeah, Patrice was a brilliant guy, like a brilliant guy. So Patrice had a gift for like anything that he felt maybe uncomfortable with or scared of, or that was bigger than him. Intellectually, he could own anything. Or almost anyone. He was such a powerful thinker and talker that he had a way of doing that. So he had issues with women just like all of us do. Keep this in mind. Patrice's best friend in the world was either his mother or Vaughn, his girlfriend. You know what I mean? The two people in his life closest to him were women. So Patrice wasn't some crazy woman hater. You know, Patrice growing up was a big guy, he was a fat kid. He definitely had issues with women. He was unfairly... I believe they accused him of rape when he was younger because it was some bullshit. They pulled a train on a girl and she freaked out about it. And I know him well enough to believe him. But I don't think that he hated women at all. I think sometimes when women can be very intimidating to all of us. So a guy like Patrice was smart enough to figure out a way to own that intimidation or own that situation. And he also pointed out bullshit between the sexes. Don't get me wrong. He pointed out a lot of nonsense that women will pull and a lot of bullshit that women will pull. But he also did that racially. You know, he didn't hate white people, but he pointed out a lot of white bullshit on both sides. You know, Patrice once said, I never met a racist. Like, he was talking about how no one ever admits to being racist. And he said, my whole life, no one's ever admitted to me that they're racist. Like, so he had a great intellectual... What's that, buddy?
Everybody's racist.
I don't think everybody's racist, but everybody has, whether it's racially bigoted thoughts or just stereotype thoughts. I don't think everybody's like hatefully racist, but everybody has stereotype thoughts. But point being that, he had intellectually a great way of owning things that were uncomfortable for him or painful for him or whatever they were. So don't take all the things he said about women and mean I hate women. It just means that sometimes you can know that women play little bullshit games the same way we as men do, and use his brilliance to help figure that out so you don't just get trampled.
No, exactly. Yeah, I hear you there, Jim. Perfect.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. I'm sorry I'm talking so much. I haven't done a lot of radio this week, so I'm like a chatty Cathy today, and I'm drinking a gigantic cold brew by Starbuckles. Leslie in New Jersey, you feel empty and sad all the time. What's up?
Jim, how you doing?
Hi, Leslie.
Well, I think part of the problem that I'm having is I've been out of work for the last 2 months. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Oh, cool. What kind of work?
Insurance company. It's a bunch of, boring, but
it's a job,
being around people, and I'm not the kind of, if I'm alone with my own thoughts, if I'm by myself, then I really not want to hurt myself. But in the past, I used to cut myself and hurt myself just to escape from the pain and, from sexual abuse and all kinds of crap. And I just don't know. I mean, I think going back to work is going to help me. But have you ever felt this way? It's just like I just feel dead inside.
Yes, all the time. It's amazing how many depressed thoughts I've had, and how many horrible or suicidal or self-harm thoughts I've had. Even having a great career, as much as I've knocked myself, I have a really good life, and within reason, I've gotten almost everything I've ever wanted and have been willing to work for. You know what I mean? I've gotten a lot of great things in my life that I've worked for, and yet it doesn't matter because there's been times where I still look at a ledge and go, boy, I wish you had the balls to throw yourself off this. Mm-hmm. It's never about the outside stuff. It's not about the job. It's not about the money. You know what I'm saying? it's about the way you feel about yourself. And a lot of times, for some reason, the person that I should feel good about, like as much as I don't like myself, I work hard, I still find I have a great distaste for myself. And maybe you're in that same boat. Maybe that the outside shit doesn't matter. Like working is one thing, but I'm sure even when you're working, you get those thoughts. It's just when you have more time alone, you know, you think about them more. Probably, you know, again, if it's sexual abuse as a child, I'm guessing that's what would cause it for you, right?
That's a part of it. And also too, until I've been in a relationship for 8.5 years. And before that, I was too much of a pussy to kill myself or harm myself. So what I would do is I would let any guy in the world fuck me and hurt me and hope that they would kill me.
Yeah. It's like almost like a suicide by cop thing. So you're bent on harming yourself and you can get them to do it. Sure.
And I couldn't do it. So I'm like, well, maybe they'll do it. And I've been in a relationship with, you know, they had their ups and downs for 8.5 years, and he's a really a great guy, and I love him, and he's not the issue. The issue is within me, and I mean I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know how to dig myself out of it.
Well, I hate to give the old therapy advice, but I mean, do you do that? I'm still in touch with the therapist. Actually, I was in therapy for years, and I've been thinking about maybe going because I was going to like a 12-step program for you know, I'm a food addict. I could be an addict at any time for anything. So a lot of times I'm thinking about getting back into the program. Just to connect with people. It's just because I just feel disconnected from myself and from other people. Yeah, you know, there's something about that. There's some people like, why does 12-step stuff work? I don't always have a great answer for that. I just know that there's something very cathartic for me when I'm in a room full of people from all walks of life who know exactly what I'm about deep down. Like, meaning there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to shock those people. They know when I'm full of shit. They know exactly why I do things I do as a person. And I mean, without even knowing me. There's something about being in a room full of people that are pretty goddamn similar to you and have the same problems you do and the same weaknesses you do and the same sick thinking you do. It's comforting. There's just something comforting, like the things that we laugh at in those rooms. Like, and I've never been to one for eating, but I'm sure it's the same thing as drinking or drugs or gambling, where it's like, look what a bunch of fucking horses' asses we can act like sometime. And then you can laugh at each other and laugh at yourselves. And there's just something very healing about that. So yeah, try that again. Doesn't cost anything. That's true. Yeah. Well, thank you. You know, just connecting with you. I mean, just to hear that somebody, and it's like success isn't really, I mean, you're very successful. I'm not saying that you're not, but it's comforting to me to hear that somebody who has the level of success that you do can also have the same feelings. Well, yeah, success. I mean, I'm moderately successful in my business. Robin Williams was extraordinarily successful, and he won an Oscar, and he hung himself. So it's like depression has nothing to do with your social status. It's harder to believe when rich people do it. Like, you know, a guy like Robin Williams does it, people are like, what the fuck? But it doesn't matter. Because, you know, when you're sitting there naked in your mirror at 3:00 in the morning, it has nothing to do with your job. It's who you are. So, yeah, go back and I find that when I'm doing positive things, I feel better about myself. It sounds so stupid, but, you know, you can't, like, think your way into healthy living. You have to live your way into healthy thinking. But it's true. It's the fucking truth. I can sit on my fat ass all day and think, and it means nothing. But if I'm doing shit, like when I get up and I go to the radio show and then I go to the gym and then I do what I do after, I at least feel okay about myself because I've done something positive that I was supposed to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like when now you're working again, if you start work again, you probably feel better because you're doing something. You're not just sitting around. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Jim. All right. Goodbye. Sorry to babble. Let's see here. Lars in, MS. Is that Missouri or,
Hello?
Hi, Lars. Where's MS? Or do you have it?
It's Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri. It is Missouri. Okay. You want to start comedy. What's up?
Well, back in high school, I've been out of high school for a couple of years now. I took improv and stand-up comedy, and I lettered and got varsity and all that stuff. And now that I'm out, I'm sorry, were you saying something?
You lettered in comedy?
Yeah, actually, it's kind of weird. Like they had stand-up as an actual thing at my high school, along with like the theater group and all that stuff, as well as improv comedy, and you could actually get letters in it.
Wow, are you kidding? I'm sure I would have got an A+. I'm just being cute. God.
Oh, man, you would have killed it. Trust me.
Oh, what do I know? Give me a PhD. So what's up? How long ago was this?
That was about 3 years ago. I've been out.
Oh, not long. Okay.
Yeah, so like I'm working a better job than what I had now. I'm just now getting through college and all that, and I was wondering, what would your advice be for starting out a little bit small? Because I mean, there's the improv comedy like area is right downtown in my area, like Kansas City. That's a really big area, but I don't know where to like start out, what kind of people I should talk to, what I should like base my act around and all that stuff.
Very simple.
Any advice? Yeah.
Where you start out is that you find these little open mic nights. A lot of times you have to bring friends. They're called bringer shows. You bring some friends and they come and they pay. It's almost like, your 5 friends pay to see you and you get to go on stage. It's how it is in the beginning. And it might sound like, well, I don't want to pay to go on stage. But then again, you have to realize, why should a club put you up when you've never proven you were funny? So that's kind of how you both wash each other's backs a little bit. As far as what you talk about, that's a very personal decision. Like, whatever you feel is your thing. Whoever you want to be on stage. Like Brian Regan talks about very silly observational things in his own way. Lewis Black talks very much about political things in his own way. You know what I mean? Stanhope talks about stuff and pretty much everything in his own way. And he's harsh about it. You may want to be an Aziz Ansari guy where you're not really harsh, where you're just kind of light and flowing on stage and, and lightly bouncing around. And, you know what I mean? You might have, whatever you want to be on stage is what you'll be. But you can never ask anybody else that, because for me, it's different than it will be for you. Like, you should only do what you feel comfortable with, and that will be something you'll realize in time. So I suggest very sincerely that you tape every set you do and watch it. Don't be lazy about it. Realize it's a part of the job, and don't wait to do it. Look around, begin looking around today, and go on stage as soon as you can. The most heartbreaking thing for me at my years of 47 years old is 57 years young. I like a Subway sandwich. Is for me, it's heartbreaking when I see somebody 40 who says, dude, I'm kind of funny. I always wanted to try it, but then I got married. I just never. It's like, why didn't you try it? Even if you fail, I never feel bad for people who say, I used to do comedy, but then I stopped, because at least they tried comedy. But you got to try it if you're thinking about it, dude. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work, and that you can live with. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I will say, you greatly inspired me. I started listening to the Opie and Anthony show like 2 years ago, like all the reruns, and I've been keeping up with you guys on your current show right now with just Opie.
Thank you very much.
Killer, man.
I was on Anthony's show the other day too. He made me laugh so fucking hard. So check out Anth on AnthonyCumia.com. He's got a new studio. This asshole that he is wearing a suit jacket now. So you should get the subscription just to ridicule him in his dumb suit jackets. He's aces high. He makes me sick.
I'll be seeing you out 28th, I think it is, in Kansas City down here at the Starlight Theater.
Am I down there? I don't remember.
Yeah, that's what your tour page says.
Well, maybe you're right.
$150. But
I'm not doing Kansas City.
Yeah, it says Starlight Theater right there. It says August 28th.
Hold on a sec. That's wrong, dude.
Is it really?
100%. Hold on. Is it?
Oh man, that's gonna bum me out.
Wait a second. Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, I'm not there. I'm in Dallas. I'm actually. This guy's convincing me that I am somewhere else. No, you little flower. I'm not there.
Oh man, what a bummer. It's a good thing I just had the tickets up on pre-order instead of going up and buying them right there.
All right, buddy.
I'll be listening to you.
Thank you. Take care. And by the way, anybody who heard me on Ant's show, we were talking about JFK, and he said something about Kenny, and he just tied it into Kenny, like, John F. Kenny, and how he got his brains blown out, but he's like, I feel fine, because Kenny has no brains. And then Anthony said, and Jackie's on the hood with tweezers. And he made me laugh. It literally like I was like hitting the stomach with a bat. What a funny line that was. All right. Let's see here. Recovering addict, Greg in New Jersey. What's up, buddy?
Jimmy, how are you?
How are you?
I can't complain.
Well, I'd complain, but who'd listen? Go ahead, Greg. Welcome aboard.
I just wanted to tell you, man, you're hilarious. You really are. I mean,
well, thank you.
I can listen to you every morning. You guys are great. You're awesome.
Thank you.
But I wanted to talk about Artie that was in before. I'm a huge fan of Artie Lang.
Yes.
I mean, I remember from the Stern Show, everything. I actually dated his cousin for a while.
Okay.
But I'm also a recovering addict. 3 years clean. And I'm just kind of at a point now where it's like life's just kind of boring. I mean, I'm clean, I got that going for me, but like,
right.
All my other friends are going out to bars and doing all other shit, getting all fucked up and everything, and I mean, like, all the meetings were never really for me. I couldn't really get comfortable in meetings.
Well, then maybe what I found, dude, not to interrupt you, but I found like when you say it gets boring after a while, there comes a point like in recovery I found, and people had warned me about this, where again it was 2, 3, 4 years in, where I start going, all right, is this all there is? This is it? And what that normally means is I have hit some kind of a plateau with my personal growth, for lack of a douchier way of saying it. Like, it's almost like when you're working out, you hit a plateau with your weight, you have to switch up the diet or whatever it is. It's the same thing. Like, okay, things are boring now what? Like, maybe you should help somebody else. Like, if your life is good and you're sober or you're clean for 3 years, help another person. Take an interest in another person. Or whatever it is if you're not going to any 12-step meetings and there's no personal growth, maybe you should try doing something that you change the inside a little bit. You know what I mean? Life is not just not drinking or not getting high. That's a great big part of it, and that's like the basic necessity. That's the only part you have to do 100%. The other stuff is just kind of a learning experience. But I would suggest, maybe trying to change some things that caused you to be that way to begin with internally.
Yeah, I mean, that's very good advice. I appreciate it. Thank you. That does. I actually recently did just kind of take a career change and kind of did something completely unlike myself and went a complete different route with my life. And I'm actually happy with my new job. So I guess that's kind of a plus in a way.
It's a huge plus, and it's amazing how we get bored when we're sober. Like, man, it's kind of boring. It's a lot easier to bring a little excitement to your life when it's boring than it is to make your life boring when it's exciting and you don't want it to be. For instance, say you're still active and you get arrested and you're facing a mandatory jail sentence. You'd give anything for it to be boring. Or say you were driving and you run over somebody and they lose a leg. Or you just hit somebody and you kill them drunk driving. You'd give anything to just have a boring existence, but it's an impossibility at that point. So I think the position you're in now is a lot easier. Find a fucking hobby. It beats being overly excited when you don't need to be and trying to make it boring.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Thank you for the advice. I appreciate it, Jim.
All right, good luck, buddy. Take care, Greg.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Danny in D.C., what's up, Danny?
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Danny.
Hey, man. I showed my wife your comedy specials on Netflix.
Yes.
And she got a crush on you, man. Just right off the bat. She never heard of you before.
Well, apparently her eyesight is working. I'm just being adorable. Go right ahead, Dan.
But she's very sapio. She takes someone for their brain and whatnot, and that.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you implying that physically? Hold on a second. Now, are you implying that she couldn't just look at this, what I like to call gift of a body, and just be attracted to it? Now, come on, Dan. That's not fair.
So I live in a community. It's almost like a secret society all over the country, all over the world. The BDSM community. If I and non-monogamy and poly and whatnot. It's so huge now, and it's so thriving, and there's 4 million people on a whole separate social network. We never fuck with Facebook anymore. We're on our own thing in our own world.
What are you on, alt.com? That's a big one.
FetLife.
Oh, okay, FetLife, yeah.
And what we see is folks, and I'll even say my case, I used to have an anger outlet. I used to be an asshole, angry guy, and that was how I vented all of my troubles in life, was through anger. And then since I found the BDSM scene and the alt scene, my outlet switched to a sexual outlet.
Oh, good.
And
okay.
I practice my fetishes and my kinks or whatever they might be and whatnot, and in a healthy way.
Okay.
Or at least in what I believe is a healthy way, and there's a lot of us that think that way. So I'm kind of like presenting that to you now. Like, do you think there is a possibility to kind of roll out with your fetish, whatever it might be, and practice that in a healthy way?
Absolutely, dude. I think it's great. Like, all of it is okay. The only thing I was joking before about Jared, unless it's some predatory shit like that either lies or tricks somebody or fucks somebody underage or hurts somebody, like anything besides that, I don't care if it's being pissed on, whipping somebody, being whipped, nipple clamps, being spat on, fucking roll. All of it is fine. As long as you're not victimizing a person who doesn't want to be victimized or fucking an underage person, you're fine. Like, you know what I mean? It's great.
And that's the thing, you know, the scene that I live in has a very thick layer of ethics and safety and,
absolutely.
And consent. And, you know, consent is a huge thing. And if you fuck up with consent, you're pretty much out of the community and whatnot. And, it's almost a secret society that no one knows about.
Right.
But so much is getting done and so much cleansing is getting done. You know, we did a scene that was, you know, almost a gang rape with multiple men on one woman, and she was reenacting her rape. And we gave her a rattle, and the mooch music at the club was so loud and whatnot, we couldn't hear her if she said red or this or that. We gave her a rattle, and if she dropped the rattle, that meant the scene was over.
Oh, what a smart way to do it. Because again, when you were saying that, I was like, what does she want you to stop? I like the fact that if she dropped it, it was over. That's great. Yeah, you have to have some kind of a safe word or whatever. This way you can totally let loose and you know the other person is okay with it.
Exactly. And if you're going to be nonverbal or the club music is too loud or something, then you work out a tap or a drop or whatever. I mean, that's the ethical layer that we practice. And what's funny is that there's events and this and that, and we go through these and do people's kidnappings, and so many of these women ask for the Reedy gangbang kidnapping. It's amazing.
Well, as long as everyone's into it, man, I think that's great. But I got to wrap up. We got a few more calls, but you're great, Dan. It's good to hear. It's not even a question, but it's just good.
It's good to talk to you, man. Keep rolling.
All right, thanks, Danny. Take care.
Bye.
What's up, Mike? You want to start stand up, but you want to joke about your son? What's up?
Hey, I was wondering, are there places you can go and do stand up, like where you don't know someone and not bring like a bringer audience, like in New York City?
You know, I don't know. I'm sure there are. But again, I've been out of that. Like for me, open mics were so much different. I did some bringer shows, but a lot of times you just got to go and be willing to sign up. Like try the comic strip or one of these other new talent lights. Sometimes if you sign up, you'll be able to go on very late. But I'm sure there are. You know, you should look around for that. But you might have to sit around the club for a few hours. But it's worth it to try that. What do you want to make fun of? Your son?
Well, I grew up with abandonment, drug addict parents. You know, I'm doing pretty well in life, and I also have an autistic son. But the way I deal with a lot of these issues is by finding humor in it.
Absolutely.
And like, you know, I have an autistic son, and to me, I sit around like the schools he goes to, and I notice like the teachers look like strippers to me. Like, you know, I'm thinking how lucky they all come in and hug them, and, you know, and I find humor, like I'm going to pretend I'm autistic just to get these girls to hug me.
Yeah, that's not mean. Let me say, I would suggest only if you're doing something, like understand that you don't want to do anything that's going to humiliate your son. I'm not saying you would, but you don't want to do stuff like, you know, hey, my son's retarded. Like, you don't want to get into that where it's just so shitty to your kid, because no audience will go with that. But if you're talking about how it affects you or stuff like that, like, hey, I want to be autistic, like fucking, Robert Schimmel talked about his son's cancer death. And he said something about like, you know, all my son wanted was, a stripper to fuck me or something like that. Like where he was trying to get laid using it. That's taking the worst.
His Make-A-Wish was for his father to fuck. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Like that's taking the worst possible scenario. Your 5-year-old son dying of cancer, however old the kid was, and finding a way to be funny about it. So it's very possible, dude.
Yeah, because like I love my son more than anything in the world, but you know, like one thing I say is like, oh, I just got a dog, so I installed an electric fence. It's not for the dog, it's for my son because my neighbors have pools. You know, it's not really, you know, and you know, I don't want to call about a floater in the morning, you know, because autistic kids run, like, you know, like just the gist about it. But do you think people that's offensive or
maybe? The key is to do it in a way that it works. That's the challenge. How do you take things that are offensive or that are sad or tragic? Sometimes the way you deliver it will ruin it. Like if your joke is my kid floating dead in the pool, that's going to be a tough one to sell. But there is a way. Hold on. There is a way. And I got to let you go in a second because we only got 2 minutes. Sure. But Mike, there is a way to talk about the fear of that or what you have to do to prevent that. Because the bottom line is, the truth is, you want to prevent that. So,
that's what I was leaning. Like, I'd rather him shake at the property line than instead of getting a call of him floating in the pool.
I understand. And stop trying your bits on me. Fucking, that's the worst thing a comedian can do. I know what you're doing, but I understand it. Shut up, Mike.
Yeah.
Listen. Get on stage and try it. That's what I would suggest.
Can I ask you one other quick question?
Yes, you can.
When I first got divorced, and it's totally non-related, but I would go out to nightclubs and I couldn't talk to girls and I couldn't do this. And a friend gave me a hit of ecstasy once, and it took like all my inhibitions away, and I was able to talk to girls. And that night I got laid, and like I was almost at the point, like maybe like I have a fear of going on stage. Like, and I know you're a recovering addict or something, but people were telling me that there's actually drugs you can get from a prescription from a doctor to take anxiety away.
Nah, you know what, dude? Just go on stage. Being afraid is okay. You want your wit. You want to be sharp. You're supposed to be scared walking on stage. You're supposed to be. It's nerve-wracking. Everyone is scared going on stage. You get used to it and you learn how to fucking not be scared or to manage the fear, and it gets less and less and less and less. But no, you don't want to kill that. You're supposed to be nervous. If you're not nervous going on stage the first few times, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Don't try to remove that fear. Try to master the fear, make it work for you. Use that fucking nervous energy to fucking make your mind work faster, or just learn to navigate it. Because if you begin to numb that fear and you begin to remove it, believe me, it's going to come sooner or later, and you'll have no idea how to deal with it, okay? I got to wrap up, dude. We're running late. I apologize.
Thank you very much.
All right. I apologize to all the people on hold. We had a lot of calls today. I'm surprised we did. Thank you guys for calling. To the guy who wants to try cuckolding, call back next week, because I'd love to chat about cuckolding. Thank you guys so much, and have a great week. Opie and I are off this week and next week. We're back the 31st. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to The Jim Norton Show. Hear all that advice whenever you want to on demand at SiriusXM.com/on-demand. On SiriusXM is real.